All right, hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video. It is Monday, June 14th. I wanted to make a quick video to talk about our assignment, which is due tomorrow night, the deductive argument assignment. And I want to talk about the inductive argument discussion a little bit as well. So let me share the screen and we'll jump into these things. Okay, so like I said, we have week 7's discussion on inductive arguments. First posts were in due Saturday. Your replies are due by Tuesday night. We had SmartBook chapter 7 and 8 due Saturday. If you missed those, I think I added the extension to everyone already, but if not, let me know and I will add your extension. And then we have the deductive argument assignment on Tuesday. So let me talk about the discussion real quick, and then we'll talk about the assignment. Okay, so the discussion is an interesting one. It asks you to consider these two causal arguments. Every day of my life, the sun is risen in the morning. Tomorrow morning is another day, therefore the sun will probably rise. And every time I flick the switch, the living room light goes on, therefore the switch probably controls the living room light. Then you're asked to think about these, right? Do these arguments seem obvious? Why or why not? How would you judge the strength of these arguments? Are there ways that they can be complicated? How does the wording matter? And then what other inductive arguments do we rely on? My advice to you is that give these a little bit of time to marinate. What I mean is they're a little bit more complicated than they might appear. I like these arguments because they are both inductive arguments that are making claims about something that will occur in the future, which complicates our understanding of logic a little bit. For example, every day of my life, the sun is risen in the morning. Tomorrow morning is another day, therefore the sun will probably rise. There seems to be this, and we understand that the sun will rise tomorrow, right? And we treat that almost like a factual thing. But we're talking about the future, and the future is an unknown. And the sun rising tomorrow can only be an extremely high probability, not a fact, right? Not 100% truth, 100% guaranteed. Even though it might be 99.99 repeating, it remains a probability. And that's kind of the strange thing about inductive reasoning, is that we use inductive arguments all the time. In our lives, we kind of base our lives on them. Like this example here, a green traffic light meaning it is safe to go seems like a deductive true argument. But is it really? If it was true, if every time a traffic light turned green, it was safe to go, nobody would ever get T-boned by someone running a light, right? So these are a little bit more complicated than they might first appear. And the complication stems from the fact that even though they sound like facts, true, false, they're not, based on the premise or based on the argument itself, this way it's set up, based on words like probably, based on the idea that we're making claims about the future. So some of the interesting questions I think that arise about arguments like this is that there seems to be this time element, or number of experiences. Like every day of my life, I have experienced this thing, so I will experience it tomorrow. But at what point do we accept that? At what point does our brain say, okay, this has happened enough in the past that we can guarantee it will happen in the future? And what process, what is occurring in our minds that kind of lets us switch off having to think about that thing, and just kind of bank on it actually happening? Okay, so take it a little deeper than you may have originally done so. Let's take a look at the assignment next, real quick. Okay, the assignment is pretty simple. I say that students usually do pretty well on it. When people lose points, they lose points because they kind of overthink it or they kind of complicate it. In part one, all you are being asked to do is to come up with the logical conclusion based on the given premises. Remember, these are deductive arguments. So we have to assume that the premises are true. And if the premises are true and logically related, the conclusion must be true. The video that is in the lesson folder for the week explains these really well. I will say that students sometimes lose points on the third one here due to wording, as well as the fourth one due to wording. I don't know why. I think maybe just moving too quickly or something. Just pay attention to how those are worded. Part 2 is just asking you to come up with your own deductive arguments that include premises and conclusions. Follow the examples here. Don't make them super complicated. Don't give yourself, the more words you put into these, the more potential that they don't quite work. So keep it simple. And then part 3, read each of the following 4 arguments and decide whether they are valid or invalid. Remember, valid doesn't necessarily mean true, but rather validity implies that if the premises were true, the conclusion would be true. So if the premises were true, are these valid arguments? Okay. If you have questions about this assignment, let me know. I don't think it is our most challenging assignment by any means. I just do think that there are the occasional, there's room for like your brain to misfire. So just take your time with it. That's it. If you have questions, please email me and I will get back to you as soon as I can.